Hey, Grant Davis here. Hey, I'm an insurance guy, so forgive the audio video. I always keep saying that. But we're going to talk briefly about how to hire a contractor. I have a series of construction videos and trainings and such. Some of them are meant for contractors and developers. Some of them are meant for investors, and some of them are meant just for business owners, and some are just for regular people. So please check us out and follow us on YouTube and follow our blogs and such like that. I'm taking off the glasses because of the glare, sorry. And I don't have to read anything for this one. So I do work with a selected number of contractors. There's a form you can fill out. Somewhere there would be a link. The marketing people will put one in somewhere. And you can fill out an information request and ask about that. I also work with attorneys as a consultant and then also as an expert witness on many of the matters that we talk about. This one in particularly, though, is amazing to me. I've been doing this over 40 years. I've seen more claims than any company can possibly have, because I have some companies that have a lot of claims, and then I have others. In 40 years of this, I've seen a lot of claims, and I've been involved in a lot of this stuff. And here's the thing that everyone in construction particularly seems to forget. The best indicator of future performance is past performance. So if I take the last 5 years of anything, and I just go forward and I look, and I can trend it and graph it and say it's going like this or that, right? I can pretty much tell you what's going to happen in the next 5 years, can't I? I can tell you that's we're going to follow this trend. Insurance companies do this all the time when they set rates for commercial accounts. The rates for commercial accounts can be discounted as much as 50%, and they could be increased as much as 50% just right on the underwriter's desk. Beyond that, it can go not much less than 50%, honestly, unless we go to an alternative risk financing. The group captive is a good idea. If it gets to the point where you want to participate more than we can get you, more than we can get your rates down, then that's the route we take, and that's because you've got good loss history and such. So if I was going to hire a contractor, a subcontractor, anybody, what I would want is exactly part of what's on an insurance application. That's what I would want. I would want to know what they've done for the last 5 years. Here, just an overview of projects for the last 5 years. And I would want their loss history, from currently valued loss runs is what it's called, from insurance companies for the last 5 years. And I'd want to compare it. That's for their general liability and especially also for their workers' compensation. Now this all ties together. So the workers' compensation is important too, because if a worker gets hurt on a job site, right, or at your home or your business, someone gets injured, this is for everybody, right? What I'm about to say is workers' comp between that worker and the company that he works for. But they're on your property. They're at your job site. What does that make that for you? That makes that a first party liability claim. That's what that makes it for you. And let me, other things that we'll talk about, $1 million is nothing today. 5 or 10 million is where you need to start thinking about when you start looking at losses. And then we need to also consider, there's another video I did on understanding additional insureds, and indemnity and hold harmless agreements particularly are very important, because that injured worker, we can flip that lawsuit right back to the employer, and that would be if the employer's agent is on the ball and is doing the right job, which sadly there are people that in my business that what's the word for it? I lost the word for it. That dabble. They dabble with construction. Construction is nothing to dabble with. That's why I take a limited number of clients. I have to read everything. I have to read the contracts. I got to know the projects. I got to understand how the indemnity, hold harmless, and insurance requirements and the additional insured, which you'll hear me talk about and explain why most of them are wrong, because they don't ask for a specific form number and a specific version date or combinations. All of that has to tie together to protect you and your project. That's how it has to tie together. Here's why you want loss history. If your contractor, so let's say you're building a house, okay, you hire someone, he builds 20 houses a year, 5 houses a year. You look back for the last 5 years and 6 or 7 of them have construction defect problems. Probably don't want to hire that contractor. Why buy a problem, right? Okay. So same thing with the roofer or anyone else that you're going to hire. If you're going to hire somebody, and then I go to my bigger clients, which are investors and project owners, and they do some big mixed-use developments, right? They hire a general contractor that hires subcontractors. Okay, well first let's start with the general, and then let's make this a requirement right on down, because here's the deal. On time, within budget, without defect. That's what we're heading for, right? On time, what happens if someone gets hurt seriously on one of these bigger jobs? OSHA shows up. That's why everyone's got to include their OSHA requirement. It's all in another video, so it's all in there. So, but the best way, so number one is you have to like the person. You have to be able to get along with them. You have to see some of their work and say, hey, this is nice work. This is what I'm looking for, and they can do it. And then don't skip this step. A list of projects and loss runs. And if they say, I can't get that, that's not true. All they got to do is call their agent. They can call their insurance broker and say, hey, I need my last year's application and the loss runs that went with it for my general liability as well as my workers' compensation. And never, ever, ever hire somebody that says they're exempt from workers' compensation. Sorry, I'm going to lose some people here, but you just can't do it. Oh, I'm exempt. I don't need workers' comp because I'm myself. I don't need workers' comp on myself. Well, then what happens when that person is hurt at your place? They're like a drowning person, grasping for anything they can, and guess where their sole, number one, and only source of recourse is? They can't work again. They're 40 years old. They won't work again. They got 25 years loss of income, and they got hurt on your project or at your property. And they said they were exempt. And I'm going to pick on cities. I'm going to pick on actually the county, even that I live in. I've read some of it, and it's like, no offense to anybody, but it's like they took a class, an incomplete class on indemnity hold harmless agreements, and an even less complete class on insurance requirements, and even less on additional insured. I mean, so they're taking quick classes and they're putting these agreements together, and then they wonder why insurance doesn't attach the way it's supposed to. So again, short video, but for me, short video. I work with a limited number of people, so please, there'll be somewhere around here, the marketing people will put a little click in there. You could fill out a form, tell me about yourself and about your project. We take a look at it. We'll also invite you, oh, by the way, before we do that, I'm sorry, before that happens, we're going to invite you to a webinar if you're interested, so there'll be a little invitation to that first, so that way you can get to know me a little bit better. Then will be the option, if you would like to work with me, to fill out a little form. And the reason we do that is, we're doing it this way. I've done this 40 years, so I started, before calculators, no cell phones, none of this stuff, no computers. But now that we have all of this, it makes it more efficient. It's better for you and it's better for us. So I really hope I get to work with you, or at least get to hear from you, and I hope this helps. Think about what I just said, and that's it. And then look at the other videos, because you do need additional insured, proper contractual transfers, etc., no matter what you're doing. Hey, thanks a lot. Sorry to get so close. I have to turn off the camera. Thanks.